Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I have two 40% alcohol brandies. This is Bisquit V.S. Very Special Cognac. And this is a 1954 bottle. Still has the old tax stamp on it, which indicates 1954. Okay, this was given to me by my next door neighbor. Thank you, Amy, for this bottle. It had never been opened. And I asked her, I said, well, why you want to get rid of it? She said, I'm never going to drink it. We're never going to drink it, her and her husband. They don't drink hard liquor. I said, well, why'd you buy it? She said, oh, because it was $1 at an estate sale. Sometimes she said they'll go to estate sales. And she bought this for $1, and then she bought this is from Bisquit and Dubouché. It's a family merger, two started with Bisquit, and then the son-in-law Dubouché got involved with the business. Now it's under Campari Group. Kind of a greenish clear bottle, like a Coca-Cola bottle, glass color. And she also bought 3 bottles of Valentine Scotch, little 100 milliliter bottles for $1. So she paid $4. I mean, I would have bought it, obviously, but I'd taste brandy. All right, cognac. Brandy or cognac brandy. Cognac is a type of brandy. Sometimes people will say, what do you prefer, brandy or cognac? Well, I mean, it's like saying, what do you prefer, whiskey or bourbon? Well, bourbon is a whiskey. Bankers Club Select, almost said Bankers Club. Bankers Club Select brandy. Introduced in 1969. I've been saying I like this colorful medieval looking label with the grapevines up the pillars and all. It's cool. Introduced in 1969 by Kasser Distilling Company of Philadelphia, and they were bought out by Laird and Company in the 1980s. I don't know the exact date, somewhere around 85. And I'm pretty sure it was 85 because there was like a newspaper article in the Philadelphia newspaper and saying like some people in Philadelphia were upset because they sold it, and it was a famous old distillery, and then it was like, well, that's business, and it was something to do also, like this labor union was all militant, like, we'll show you, we'll go on strike. What are you going to do then? And they were like, oh, sell the distillery and close it. That happened in New Orleans with Falstaff Brewery. They it was a struggling company. The last brewery closed in 1990. And the union, they're all, like I said, militant. We're going on strike. And Falstaff told them, well, we don't really have much money. If you go on strike, we'll just shut the brewery down. And they're like, you're lying. You corporate, greedy corporate, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to do that. You're not going to bluff us. And then Falstaff was like, no, it's really, that's what's going to happen if you go on strike. It's over. And they went on strike, and they stayed on strike forever, because I think it was, they say 78, but I think it was actually 79. It is hard to pin down, but at that period, they went on strike, and it closed down, and it never reopened. And there was a huge brewery in New Orleans, and the brewery is still there. And it was just abandoned for a long time. People were trespassing there. And I saw videos and photos that people took in there, mostly photos. And they went through there and had files just left with old flyers for Falstaff, recipe books, all kind of stuff that might be worth money. But old bottles, Falstaff 12-ounce bottles from 50 years ago. But it got bought. Somebody bought the property, and they turned it into apartments. Now it's Falstaff Apartments. And looked like they did a good job with it. Anyway, they showed them, boy. So Laird and Company, they don't make this brandy. They don't claim to make it. If you read the label, it says bottled in New Jersey by Regent Distillers, but that's an alias name for Laird and Company. I can prove that. But Who makes it? I don't know. I was trying to find a list of brandy distillers in the United States, and the list was so long that because they're including like nano distilleries that maybe put a barrel a year, you know, so it wasn't feasible to try to find out. And we know who the big ones are: Corbel, E&J, Christian Brothers, but you see they're owned by Heaven Hill now, so I don't know where their distillery operations are really carried out, because they sold to Heaven Hill in '89, and so they might have shut down the California thing. There's Paul Masson, but you see they've been bought by Sazerac, so they might have shut down their operations and moved everything over to like Barton 1792. When I went on the tour there, they already said that they were half the distillery was aging, half their aging, you know, their rick houses with the barrels, half their barrels were aging Paul Masson brandy. It was such a big contract, couldn't turn it down. Well, they bought the company, so they really didn't want to turn it down. All right, let's do screen share. I'll show you the websites. So here's Bisquit. That's a strange name, huh? Probably got no meaning in French. It probably has nothing to do with a biscuit. Bisquit and Dubouché, Cognac, France, since 1819, and all the bottles say that. This is the V.S, very special. Something very special to drink. Usually very special is more indicative of very standard, 2 to 4 years, kind of basic product. Usually a mixer, but they're claiming it up like, you know, they're building it up like it's something else. The sincerity of its aromas and vanilla fragrance of its Fenois base, refined through slow aging in oak barrels for 3 to 5 years, make this cognac unique and original. Discover the flavor of B&D V.S cognac. Very smooth. B&D, Bisquit and Dubouché. Okay, so this one's a little older than you usually get. Usually V.S. 2 years, about all you're getting, a 2-year age, basic. This is 3 to 5 years, a little bit older, a little bit. The price, I was checking prices for this product. It runs around $28, maybe $30. But I've never seen it, never seen it in Louisiana, except for this one bottle that I got. But like I said, it was 1954. But it might be sold in some other places. They changed the bottle too, from the round to the square, and they've done that since 2021. In 2021, when I got the bottle, I checked their website and it was showing these standard round cognac bottles. Then all of a sudden they switched to a new look, the squared off bottles, which companies will do from time to time. Now look at the nose. How can it live up to all this? Pear, plum, flower, oak wood, and vanilla. The color, radiant gold. Yeah, I'll go along with that. Maybe amber gold. Taste, pears, again, cinnamon, clove, mangoes, and mellow texture. That's a mouthfeel, not a taste. All right, y'all say so. There's the new bottle. Looks sharp, huh? And they're showing these B&D glasses that you can buy for a high price. They got ice cubes. See, they're showing it with ice. B&D Very Special is one of our most versatile cognac expressions, fruity and fragrant. Well, everything they make, you know, is going to be versatile and fabulous and amazing and unbelievably great. You know how these companies are. Tasted neat in a tulip glass, which is what I've got. I've got a different type glass. Or go for an easy mixed cocktail. Why don't you just do that? Now, there's a video you can watch for it, but they're showing the VSOP. But then there's all kind of cocktails. Every website, you know, every liquor website you look at is going to have cocktail suggestions. And their other products are the VSOP and the extra old, the XO. So VSOP is going to be aged much longer. Let's see what they say. If they say minimum of, you're getting at least another year on it, maybe longer. And the XO, I think they say 10. I'm not sure. In cognac, yep, that's their top. Yeah, 10 years. I'll remember that. Yeah, up to a minimum of 10 years. So the youngest cognac in that blend is 10 years old. Well, you know, this is not going to be $30. You know that. It's probably over 100. You know that's going to be the case. Okay, now the And that website is very extensive. Like you need an hour at least to go through that whole website. It's very extensive. But you can learn a lot. All right, Bankers Club. There's the glass bottle I wanted, but I couldn't find it. And then they've got the straight bourbon from Kentucky, which they source, obviously, because they don't produce it there in New Jersey. Then there's the blended whiskey, gin. They all have a medal on them. You notice they all have a medal, like, well, not the first two. The rest, well, three of them have medals, like they won a medal, you know. Never been in a competition. Vodka, blended scotch. I wonder who makes that for them, huh? It might be Johnny Walker. Yes, and companies like Johnny Walker do contract distilling, in fact. And it actually helps them because it brings these other people under their control to a large extent. You have to rely on them to make the product. There's the clear run, and that's what led to the lawsuit between Pabst Blue Ribbon and Molson Coors, because Pabst Brewing Company was complaining and saying, you know, we made a contract for you to brew our beer, but it's like you trying to control us. And they said, no, of course not. And they said, bull, you know, I can't say who was right or wrong. I just read it in the paper, you know, and on the internet news, like Yahoo News or AP News. But they were saying, you know, you're lying. You intentionally reduce production. Like you'll claim, oh, you don't have time, and say we can't get any old Milwaukee or whatever. But you know what you're doing. That's what they were saying. You know what you're doing. You're trying to grind us down, maybe to the point where they would just sell out to them or something like that. And they were like, oh no, you know, we're not doing that. Obviously we're going to make our beer first, and if we have leftover time, we'll make yours. You know, you're low on the priority list. You know, if you don't like it, go buy your own breweries, make your own breweries, build your own breweries. You used to have them. Shut them down. You still have a brewery in San Antonio that's mothballed. You could renovate it and do something with it. That's what Miller was saying, Molson Coors. And in fact, they did settle the lawsuit, undisclosed settlement. We don't know who got paid or whatever. And then the Miller Brewery in California, Los Angeles County, California, was shut down. And guess who bought it? Pabst Brewing Company bought it. But about a week later, they sold it to City Brewing. It's probably all planned out. And City Brewing took it over and renovated. And now guess who makes Pabst beers now? City Brewing. Going to have 100% production for them by the end of the year. Molson Coors. Miller breweries are still putting out some of it. That's why you might buy Pabst Blue Ribbon 12 packs, and it'll be from City Brewing. It'll say Pabst Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin, or you know, Latrobe, Pennsylvania, but don't worry, it ain't them. And then, but it might also have that code and say Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and it's still not them. But by the end of the year, they say all the Miller production will be over. All right, back to these. The appearance, well, the B and D, the Bisquit and Dubouché V.S. is much darker. And that might even show up on, yeah, you can see that it's darker. The other one's gold, that one's copper. You know. So let me spell it correctly because they use the period. So V.S. They abbreviate with the period. Some companies don't. They do. Okay. It's like you should see USA. Some people spell it USA, no periods. Then the next group's going to spell it U.S.A. period or period. Okay. Either way, correct. It's like whiskey. How do you spell it? K-E-Y or K-Y? Either way is correct. The U.S. government spells it W-H-I-S-K-Y. No E. If you look at the U.S. government documents, there's no E in whiskey. It's not a rule. It's just the way they choose to spell it. Early times, no E. Check the bottles. You'll see I'm right. What's another whiskey that's got the George Dickel? Look at all the George Dickel. W-H-I-S-K-Y. And then, I know there's another real famous one. Oh, well, I can't remember. But if you saw it, you'd be like, well, who hadn't heard of that? So it's all up to them. Now, in other countries, it might be an actual law. Like Canada, I've only ever seen it spelled Whisky. Same thing with Scotland, and in Ireland, it's EY. So I don't know if those areas is a law. Here, it's optional. Smells like brandy, but it's just like not too elaborate. Let's go over here. That's elaborate. Now they both smell like raisins. I was saying this after work to myself, getting in my car. I was thinking, yeah, brandy. That's the descriptor I had been searching for years. Raisins. That's the answer. It smells and tastes like raisins. And when you think about it, it makes sense. And once you get that in your mind, you can't get away from it because they do all smell and taste like raisins with different added descriptors and mouthfeel and body and finish and all of that. So on aroma, I think that's the Banker's Club because that's a dry brandy. It's dry, no sweet, hardly any sweetness, and it kind of translates over to the aroma in that sense. So was it worth the $22? Oh yeah, I would say so. It's nothing fabulous, but it goes toe to toe with all your standard American brandies. Corbel. Well, Corbel might be a little bit better, really, honestly, than the other ones I'm about to name. But Christian Brothers, E&J, Paul Masson, those are so common, and it's kind of on par with those. Yeah, I'll say so. This one would be on par with like your Remy Martin and your Hennessy and your Courvoisier, I think, and about the same price. So that's all right there. The availability is minuscule though. Did they give tours at that cognac house? I think so. I'm not going back to the website, but I think they talk about that. It's small, like Reynal and SC. The Reynal cognac, it's small, but not too small. They came under control of I'm talking about coming under control, came under control of William Grant and Sons. That way they can get their product on the market. Same thing with this Bisquit and Dubouché. They come into collaboration with Campari Group of Italy. Well, they got their mark in the United States. They got their distribution, so they're able to get it on the market better. Well, I say that, but then I'm talking about I can't find it. But it was never like a big brand. But it might be a little bit bigger. But it might be bigger in other countries. You might go to Europe and it's everywhere. I don't recall seeing it in Spain or England or Spanish Africa on my last trip, or Gibraltar, British territory next to Spain. But I wasn't really looking at the brandy. I didn't look at brandy at all. I don't know why. I just didn't. Oh yeah, that's so woody and sweet. It's like sweet golden raisins. This one's dry golden raisin. The wood is amazing. It's so much oak throughout. I don't even have to close my eyes. I know this is the cognac, the Bisquit and Dubouché cognac. Clearly. So did I think I would get them confused? No, I did not. Did I think it was going to be much of a contest? No. And it turns out it's not. But why should it be? The price point is not there. This one's $22 for this huge bottle. Right? This one's like $55 for this bottle. Or maybe you get a deal for $48. But no, could be $30. Let me check. I can't remember. Let me check. But it's not going to be $22. Wesley Esheimer says, "Hey Jay, I was pondering getting a bottle of Black Velvet blended Canadian whiskey." Well, that's worth it if you can get a good deal on it. But to pay extra for it or anything like that, I got it for $8.99 at Mathern's. And then a week after I bought it, they dropped the price to $7.99 before they sold it all. They don't really carry it normally. They just had gotten a deal. I said, look at this here. Could have saved a buck. Oh man. But that's how it goes sometimes. Okay, here we go. Bisquit and Dubouché, Cognac. They don't have the V.S. at Total Wine. But see what I'm saying? The VSOP is $67.99 and the XO is 219. I said it was over 100, but no, it's 219. That's like Johnny Walker Blue Label price. I said, woo. I'm saying woo. Well, they're all about on par. Well, woo. Let's see if anybody's got Bisquit and Dubouché V.S. Bisquit and Dubouché V.S. Let's see. I know Jean made a comment. Jean says, "Good day, Mr. T. Looking forward to the blended scotch tomorrow night." Yeah, me too. I'm trying to decide which one to bring. I might bring that WD just to bring an atrocity on this, but I hate to ruin it, bringing such a bad product. Maybe I'll bring a credible product like Grant's. I'm not a big fan of Grant's, but it's a whole lot better than WD liquors. Oh man, that thing is woof. See who's got it. Doesn't look like any stores selling it. Yeah. They all got the oh, here's Main Street Liquors. V.S. That's a pretty well-known liquor store. Oh, are you crazy? $199. These people must be out of their minds. I don't know. Well, maybe they're not a credible company. What is that? Via Divino Wines. Let's see what they've got it for. This is some kind of foreign money. Well, let's see. One more chance. Some Zambia, a company from Zambia. I don't know how to convert Zambian money. Well, anyway, as you could see, and these are all Zambia. Okay, so it's obvious that they're really not sending it to the United States. If I'm getting Zambia and Australia. Okay, well, there's your answer. So that 199, oh, that might have been South Africa. Okay, so never mind. We have our answer. They're not really sending it to the U.S. anymore, so you can't find it. Oh, well, no. I guess it is a loss in a way because it's pretty dang good. But so you got to start out at the $67.99. Now, is that VSOP worth it? I would think so. By tasting this, it's got to be worth it. Okay, is the Bankers Club worth it? It's worth it, but it's very bland compared to this. Now, on its own, if you're drinking it in isolation and you don't compare it to anything, you'd be like thinking, oh yeah, this is really good. I like it. It's got character, and you think about all the character. But then you put it up against this. This is a 70-year-old bottle, 70-year-old bottle. And somebody was like, you should have never opened it. You should have kept it. It's worth money. Hey, look, I don't care about that. I don't buy liquor to save it. I don't buy beer to save it. I buy it to drink or taste. But of course, in this case, I didn't buy it at all. It was given to me. But I'm going to drink them. I'm going to taste them. I'm not going to sit there and just look at a bottle and tell everybody, look at it, it's worth money. Like I hear people talking about, I got these baseball cards, these NBA cards, they're worth money. I say, you think they're worth money, but I'm not seeing the money. I'm just seeing the cards. I said, the people that say it's worth money are the people trying to sell it. It's like these comic books. Oh, that's worth so much money. Uh-huh. That's what they say. I ain't seen any Yayo yet. Not that I would sell them anyway. Now, it's not as complex as they're saying on their website. Pears and mangoes and cinnamon and all of that. But I mean, it's pretty complex. But they got like on their website, they got people that's very well trained. So Like I said, they could detect these things where I could not. I'm just talking about raisins and wood. Tastes like charred oak too, but that could be wrong. It's very tastes like old wood. So yeah, compared, Bankers Club is nice, but compared to this, it's getting killed. Honestly, it's not even a contest. Exactly. When there are 1,000 of the same card. Right. It's not, I don't believe it. I do not believe what these people are telling these victims. Oh yeah, you should invest in comic books. You should invest in cards. No, wrong. You should invest in those. No, you shouldn't invest in them at all. You should buy them if you like collecting stuff and looking at it. That's about it. But to think you're going to make money, it's like these people on these late night tele commercials about you could buy houses with no money down and flip them. It's it's not going to work. What makes them valuable is being rare. And even if it's rare, how is it really valuable? It's a piece of cardboard. Baseball cards, piece of cardboard. Comic book is a flimsy, cheaply made magazine with comic book, comic characters in it. Obviously, I like them because I wouldn't have over 6,000 if I didn't like reading the artwork. Sometimes the artwork is nice and sometimes the stories are decent. Usually they're ridiculous and the artwork's not that good. But sometimes they are exceptional. Now, but I did not buy them to make money. I just bought them because it was fun to do. It's like a fun hobby. Get it? Like this tasting the liquor. There's no point to it. Some people would be like, what's the point? What's the goal? Oh, there is no goal. All right. The clear and present winner is this one, this Cognac, Bisquit and Dubouché, Bisquit V.S. They say very special Cognac. It wipes out Bankers Club, just whips it up, rips it up. Now, could this compete a little bit down the line here? Well, I don't know because I've got, I've got Saint Remy XO, and I think that's 6 to 10 years. No, it doesn't stand a chance. I've got Ciroc V.S. Now, Ciroc V.S. is not that elaborate. It's not a cognac. It's made in another part of France. It runs around $30. The price been holding steady, about $30, $31 for the last 5 years. Even with the JB inflation, didn't go up that much. It's running about $30, $35. I got mine for $29, I think, or 20. Yeah, something like 29. Nah, $27.99. I got a deal. That's why I bought it immediately when I saw that price. But I can go to Walmart and get Walmart's kind of pricey. They like $34.99. Ciroc VS made with a French brandy. They never did expand the line. They never expanded to VSOP or XO. I don't know why. They've been on the market 6 years. In 6 years, they had time to expand the line, but they didn't. They just satisfied to sell VS because Ciroc makes most of their money off the vodka and the flavor vodka. That's fine. Brandy is a sideline show for them, sideshow, but it is popular nonetheless. It has a following. I can't see this beating Ciroc. No, not honestly. No, I can't see this beating Ciroc. No, nope. And then what about thinking of another one I'm skipping over. There's Odessa VS from VSOP. Odessa from Ukraine. That one's not that great, but on the other hand, it's pretty good. So I think that could be a little better competition. Yeah. That could be a nice little challenge. But then that's going to end it, and then we'll be on to rum. Aren't y'all ready for some rum? I got some clear rum, silver rum, white rum, whatever you want to call it. Should be a good competition, but I don't know that. I don't know that until I actually stage the competition, right? So we'll have to see. That'll be next week. All right, well, y'all take care, and see y'all soon. Definitely, God willing, tomorrow night at 7:20 Eastern with blended scotch. Claude Diamond's idea. We give credit where credit's due on this channel. All right, y'all take care. Bye-bye.